38 home sites, all on 1 acre lots, 6 distinctive floor plans. This week on Inside Houston Real Estate, we have come about 50 minutes west of the city to Fulshear, Texas, an area that is growing rapidly, to share with you an exclusive new development. If you like large home sites and beautiful homes, this is the tour for you. Without any further ado, let's get this tour started. Welcome back to our channel. So before we showcase this incredible model, please folks, kindly consider subscribing, hit that like button, definitely leave us some comments as we're going through this home. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps us bring you more videos each and every week. So let's go. So looking at the outside of this home, I love this particular elevation. This home has 4 different elevations you can choose from. This is a brick and stucco. I love the dark trim on this house. The other thing I'd like to point out is typically, folks, when you're in a development and you're looking at model homes, all this beautiful landscaping you see out front, that usually gets ripped out when they sell this home and get it ready for the buyer, because typically the garage is on the front side of the house. Well, this house, as you can see, you have a 4-car garage on the side of the home, 2 cars straight ahead, 2 cars on the right, which they're currently using as a sales office. So that's a beautiful thing. All of this is going to stay. So Morgan, follow me this way, folks. And we are out here. Fulshear is kind of the country. It's only 50 minutes from downtown Houston, but behind me, you can probably see the horses. There is literally ranch homes and ranch property out here. So if you like that country feel, you like wide open spaces, you're gonna love the size of these home sites. All right, Morgan, as we walk towards the front door, I do want to point out you have a nice porch in the front, a couple of rocking chairs. This is pretty cool. And stepping inside the covered porch here, Morgan, if you pan up, I love the wood paneling they did here. It runs all the way the length of the front porch. As I mentioned, folks, this is a model, so you're going to see a lot of upgrades in here. I believe this double door entry is also an upgrade, but I do love the wood and glass door. It kind of has a wave pattern to it, so you can see in, but it's not crystal clear, allowing for some privacy. So let's step inside. All right, so the first thing I notice when we come inside is you have really high ceilings here. So I can touch 8 feet, so these have to be approximately 12-foot high ceilings in the entryway. I love how they designed the area here with the wood paneling, the light shining down the entryway. Also, look how wide this entryway is. Now, to my left here, just off the entry, you have a study, which has French doors, glass inserts, really nice, plenty of space for an office. And they also put the wood shutters here, which I think is a really nice touch. Nice size office. And then on the opposite side of the entry, you have your formal dining area. And look at this, folks, table and seating for 8. I like the chandelier. It sits perfectly over top of this dining table. 2 large windows here facing out of the front. And then you have wood paneling here on this accent wall. So this is a really nice size dining area. So just off of this dining room area, there is a butler's pass-through. We're gonna come back to that later in the tour, but let's work our way back across the entryway. And I wanted to share with you, you have here on this first floor, you have a powder room. Morgan, I'll let you go inside. So this is great for your guests. And also I'd like to point out that you do have 8-foot high door frames on this first floor as well. Now down this hallway, it leads to your secondary bedroom down. And by the way, folks, all of the bedrooms here have ensuite full bathrooms. So this is nice. I believe this is a queen size bed. Nice large nightstand, nice window here, nice designer touch with the wood trim on the back wall there. And here is your walk-in closet. Enough for guests. And Morgan, I'll let you come inside the bathroom here. But beautifully done shower, mud set, full tile surround. I love the frosted window there. And then take a look at these porcelain floors that we're standing on here. These are really nice. And this tile here, folks, matches the tile surround. You have the glass enclosed shower. This is beautifully done. All right, now, this door, folks, leads to the laundry room, but we're going to share that with you in a second. And Morgan, follow me this way. And folks, before we share with you this beautiful great room and kitchen, let's share with you the primary bedroom and bath because I think it's beautifully done. So you step in here. Morgan, the primary bathroom to me is really nicely done. The color of the cabinetry and the color of the porcelain tile with the brown streaks going through it really matches the cabinetry and the hardware quite well. This, folks, would technically be probably the man's side of the bathroom. And then the opposite side here, you have the ladies set up with a nice vanity, very large mirrors. Morgan, I want you to point up to the ceiling because as you can see, this is not a flat ceiling. It kind of vaults up on each side. So there is some nice architectural features to this particular floor plan. You can't miss the large soaking tub here. You have a glass framed car wash shower, and take a look on each side of the shower. You have 3 windows bookending the shower plus the large window at the top. Morgan, you step inside here. It's nice, mud set. You have your Nook here for your shampoo bottles and what have you. 2 shower heads. I love the fact that it's glass framed and you can see all the way through. This is really nicely done. And then if you come around on this side, Morgan, you have a linen closet right here. Nice enough. But here's a feature that is missing in a lot of homes today. This particular primary bedroom and bath has his and her closets. So let's take a look at this. This is probably the man's side. It's a little bit smaller, but Morgan, I'll let you walk inside. It's nicely done. Built-in cabinets, built-in drawers, shoe shelves, and the convenient part of this is it is attached to your laundry room. Full-size washer and dryer. I love the tile on the floor here. Cabinet, shelving, and while we're here, I mentioned this earlier, this door leads out in the hallway, so if you have guests that are occupying this downstairs secondary bedroom, and they need to use a laundry room, they can come right through, and here it is. But this is a very convenient floor plan in design. All right, let's make our way back across. You have your water closet here to the right, and here is the other part of the closet. So this side is a little bit larger, pretty similar setup. Morgan, what's the question we always ask on this channel?
Is this Melanie approved?
I think Melanie would like the fact that there are 2 closets. However, this closet is probably not large enough for her, but it's a good start. All right, let's continue on. And as we leave the bathroom, I do want to point out it is a double door entry into the bathroom. Now take a look at the size of this primary bedroom, king size bed, really wide nightstands on each side with plenty of extra room. I love the wood beams on the ceiling and also 3 large windows here. All 3 of them open up. So if you want to let some of that fresh air in, you can. And as you can see, folks, we are going to show you the backyard, but from your primary bedroom, you have a view of this entire 1-acre home site, quite large. All right, let's go take a look at the great room. So look at the size of this great room. You have a large sofa, seating for four, couple extra chairs, really large coffee table. Obviously the highlight of this great room is going to be your fireplace here. Large, this has got to be a 65-inch TV here, but take a look at this herringbone pattern of the porcelain tile that goes from floor to ceiling. And then instead of having built-ins, the designers went with these really nice glass, kind of almost have a wicker look to them. Bookcases on each side, really nice open space. And as you can see, folks, here's your backyard, absolutely beautiful. And you have these three sliding glass doors that allow you to let the inside out and the outside in. Before we take you out there, let's look at this beautiful kitchen. Expansive, truly an expansive island. This is one of the largest islands I think we've seen on the channel.
Absolutely, it's beautiful too.
Yep. I mean, you have 4 chairs on this side. It wraps around 2 additional chairs here. A lot of times, folks, islands will end there, so you can't put any type of bar stools or seating there. I love the pendant lights they chose here, really large. Beautiful console table, by the way, on the back side of this sofa. The appliances in here are all monogram, but before we go further in the kitchen, I do want to point out that here you have a butler's pass-through with a nice serving area here. Beautiful cabinets, and Morgan, if you pan up, you can see the cabinets at the top have glass shelves, glass front doors with the lighting. That's really nice. And back here, you have a kind of a mud area with built-in cabinetry. And you have a coat closet here as well. So a lot of storage space here. And this door, folks, here goes out to the garage area that we saw from the front of the house. All right, so let's come into the kitchen. Monogram appliances, built-in microwave. I like the height of this microwave because you have cabinets on top, cabinets on the bottom. Love the hardware, but Morgan, you were mentioning earlier how nice the cabinets are.
Yes, the detail with the black lining really gives it some contrast. So they're not just your typical white cabinets, which I really like.
Right, absolutely. And then continuing on here, you have a farmhouse sink. I love the color of the hardware that they chose in the kitchen. You have your monogram dishwasher here, which is pretty cool. Take a look at this, Morgan. It has the monogram here. Kind of sexy dishwasher, what do you think?
Yeah.
All right, and then you have your trash pull out here. And take a look at this monogram range. Double oven. Gotta love the brass hardware on the knobs that matches the burners here. 6 burner, by the way, with the griddle. Nice commercial size vent hood. Down lighting here. And take a look at the backsplash throughout this kitchen. I don't think we've seen this tile on any of the homes that we've shown on the channel, but it is a full backsplash, down lighting. This is beautifully done. And if you look here, Morgan, this oversized pantry leading into it, you have all these cabinets here, tons of cabinet space. And follow me, I'll actually let you go past me. But tons of countertop space, and for those of you who desire to have an additional refrigerator, you have plenty of room in this pantry to do it. Open cupboards there. I really like the design of this pantry.
Me too. This is definitely my favorite feature of this kitchen for sure.
Very nicely done. All right, now, just adjacent the kitchen, you have your breakfast nook. And we must point out the windows again, and these are sliders, so you can actually open these up as well. And so not only can you open the ones in the main part of the great room, but you can open these going outside too.
That is a really cool touch.
That is a really cool touch. In addition, you have another way to get outside. And while we're here, we might as well go outside. All right, so this backyard, this is the largest home sites that we have featured on this channel. So as I mentioned earlier, if you want some land, you may want to come out here to Fulshear because this is where you can get it. Look at the size of this, Morgan. This is a 1 acre lot And they didn't put a pool in, but obviously you could put a pool in. You could probably have horses back here. Look at the size of this chess set here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This is incredible. And then you have a nice area that they built out if you just want to relax around the fire. You have 4 fire pits here, all put together with the sectional wrapping around. There's no neighbor directly on top of you in the backyard or the side yard. This is what they call doing things big in Texas, for sure. All right, Morgan, if you look over here, that is your ranch. And you can see the horses over there. This is nice. I don't know, I might not mind having a house out here and having some space, some land.
Absolutely.
Folks, so this is really your canvas. You can do whatever you want. Pool, basketball court, pickleball court. Heck, this is large enough to put in a full-size tennis court. If you have pets, they have plenty of room to run around.
I mean, you could honestly do all 4 of those things that you just mentioned.
You could, or you might even build one of those little mini houses back here for your guests if you don't want them in the main house. All right, so let's go back inside, but I also like the rear elevation, the dark window trim going against the light colored brick with the stucco. I really like this elevation. So as we continue with the tour, the next part of the home, I'm going to call this the entertainment wing. So you step through here just off of the kitchen and the breakfast nook, and you have another closet. You can never have enough storage, folks, so this is nice. And Morgan, we have a little surprise here. You have this built-in bookshelf. However, it is built in, but it opens up to more storage. So I'll let you go take a look inside. And that, folks, wraps around underneath the stairs leading up to the 2nd floor. So this is a pretty cool little feature as opposed to just having a door there. It's nice. All right, so you have this, I'm gonna call it your wine room, because as you see, they have decorated it with the wine rack on the wall here, but it's a nice gathering space. You have these 3 large picture windows overlooking the backyard. You have 2 on the side here looking out over the rear covered patio. Nice place to get together. And you also have here your media room. And this is nice size. So you have a nice size flat screen on the wall, large sectional wrapping around. And I like the fact that the media room is on the 1st floor as opposed to the 2nd floor, because if you're entertaining, you don't always want to have your guests have to go upstairs to a media room. How do you like this, Morgan?
I think this is a great space, especially to watch the game, get away from the kids.
Have some seclusion.
Yes, I think it's a really nice space.
All right, so now that concludes the tour of the 1st floor. We're going to head upstairs and show you the 2nd floor, where you have 3 secondary bedrooms up there, all en suite. So let's continue on. All right, so heading up the stairs, I want to say that I really like the railing with the steel rods here. Also, the steps are the same flooring that we've seen throughout the rest of the home. This really keeps the space nice and open. Look at this picture here, Morgan. A bicycle. I think I'm gonna go cycling tonight. All right, so let's head on up. And as I mentioned, 3 secondary bedrooms here, but you do have a nice little, it's almost like a lofty type space here. And they've set it up with a couple of desks, but you can make it a little TV area. You may even make this a small game room if you wanted to. I could see doing that here as well. So let's hit this bedroom first. Now we get into this dilemma if we want to show secondary bedrooms, because sometimes it's a waste of time. But I did want to point these out because of what the designer did here. You see they did a nice bench seat, and that's probably the longest bench seat we've seen on the channel. Yeah. Nice window facing out over the front of the house. And here's your bathroom. Nice size closet for a secondary. And you have access to the attic. So if you come in here, Morgan, you can see the inner workings of all the duct work and the air conditioning unit. And everything. And
Very organized.
it is one of the more tidy attics that I've seen.
Yes.
And plenty of space here. So you want to put some luggage or what have you, there's room up here in the attic. All right. Now, you have a sink on this side of the bedroom. This almost has a Jack and Jill feel, so I'll go right past you here. Here in the middle, you have your tub shower combination, toilet, and then you have another sink on this side. So you can close that door off, Morgan, if you wanted to. But this other secondary bedroom, which we'll call secondary bedroom number 2, it does have its own ensuite bathroom. And that's nicely done, nice tile work in the shower area. And you have a smaller little step-in closet. I'm not going to call it a true walk-in, but a step-in closet. But these are decent sized bedrooms for secondary bedrooms. All right, now stepping outside here, this loft area with the desk set up that I said you could make a game room, they have easy access to this other bathroom here. And then on the opposite side, before we get there, you have another closet. So there's another linen closet here. And step in, this is your third secondary bedroom. And this is the largest of the 3. And I believe that's a queen size bed. Plenty of space in here, nice windows overlooking the massive backyard. And then here, Morgan, is your closet. And a nice bathroom. I like the countertop here. And this beautiful tile surround in the shower tub combination. Beautifully done. So that concludes our tour of this beautiful home on this 1-acre large home site here in Fulshear, Texas. Folks, this home, as we've shown it to you with all of the upgrades and options, would sell for approximately $1.6 million. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know that we feature a lot of homes that are $2 million up to $5 million. They typically are sitting on lots that are about 6 to 9 or maybe 10,000 square feet, not 43,000 plus square feet like this. So for $1.6 million, if you don't mind being a little far out from the city, this is an exceptional value. Now, if you'd like some more information about this home or any of the homes that we've shown on the channel, if you're thinking about relocating to Houston or anywhere in Texas, definitely reach out to us. My daughter Morgan and myself, Lance, our contact information is in the description below. Kindly consider subscribing to our channel. Definitely hit the like button and please leave us some comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and there's a particular area that you'd like us to feature on the channel, reach out and let us know. Hit that bell so you get notified when we release new videos each and every week. Folks, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure touring you this house, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.